during that time. And I was her training partner, and we had a spat. I think I was really upset with her boyfriend. I couldn't take it anymore. And so I left, and I went to the Ultimate Fighter tryouts knowing that she had lost her fight against Kat Zingano and that she would not be the opposing coach. So the whole time I'm like giddy because I'm like, ooh, I hope Ronda picks me. I hope Ronda picks me. You know, I just wanted Ronda to pick me so bad. And when Miesha walked in, I'm like, what? What's this girl doing here? Miesha's going to make it like wish us a good season or something. You know what I mean? And they're like, Kat Zingano blew out her knee and Miesha's your no coach. I'm like, no, like Miesha, I love you. But like, don't even look at me. Like, I want Ronda to pick me on her team. You know, everybody wanted to be on Ronda's team. And I was like, Ronda and me are best friends. She just doesn't know it yet. Like, we are going to be like so tight. I was like imagining these things in my head. And then when Miesha walked in, I'm like, it was a complete wrench just thrown in my plans because she picked me first. And of course I knew I didn't know she was going to pick me first. I just had a hunch she was going to pick me first. And I just got so upset because I really wanted to be on Ronda's team. And so I instantly had a gigantic target on my back. And then because she picked me first, my own team was trying to sabotage me as well. And they were saying, well, you guys know each other from Washington and you guys have trained together before and you're best friends. So she wants you to win. So after maybe like the third week, Miesha quit talking to me. She quit helping me. She quit acknowledging me because she was getting a lot of pressure from the others saying that she was playing favorites with me. And so it was like I couldn't even talk to her. So I felt like I didn't even have a coach. You know, I was just there to do the work with like Master Tong and whoever would like give me the time of day. But for the most part, I just followed whatever I saw Chris Holdsworth doing, the other boy on my team. And so if Chris jumped rope for freaking 25 minutes, I just jumped rope for 25 minutes. If he ran, I ran. If he swam, he'd get out of the pool and he would notice. But then I'd go sneak in the pool and I would do whatever he did. I just shadowed him because I didn't have anyone to talk to. And so I think that it was really hard for me because I really wanted to be on Ronda's team. But because I was on Miesha's team, I felt even more ostracized because she wouldn't give me any acknowledgement because she didn't want to appear that she was playing favorites. So it just sucked.
Yeah. Do you think like later on she maybe was like you guys had a little bit of falling out, a little beef?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Sure.
I don't know if it was a falling out, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. Maybe she picked you to like almost kind of sabotage you a little bit.
No. Lo and behold, unbeknownst to me, my coach was supposed to be one of her coaches on the show. But because she didn't want to have my coach as another coach on the show because it would have been a conflict of interest, clearly, he was basically threatening her. Like, if you don't pick Julianna, like, don't ever call me again. And so I feel like she had to pick me because she didn't want to have the wrath of my coach on her back of, you know, like, I hate your guts, you know? So it was almost one of those things where it was like, she wasn't doing it for me. She was doing it to save her own tail because she didn't want to have to deal with my coach's, you know, drama because she knew that he was already upset that he couldn't be a coach on the show. And he felt that it was her choice to put him and she chose against him. So he was already very, very angry. So she was like, oh, I better choose Julianna or else it's going to be over for me, you know? So it was not one thing where it's like, yeah, Julianna's my friend, I'm going to pick her. It was like, I have to.
Yeah. Why did you really, really want Ronda Rousey to pick you? Like, what was it about her that...
I was enamored with her like everybody. I was like, wow, 6 first round finishes or whatever. I don't even think she had 6 at the time, to be honest. I think she was just so effortless. It was almost like artful to watch her be able to throw people so easily and get these arm bars so suddenly. I loved her confidence and her charisma, and I thought she was funny. And like I said, I still to this day think that we would have been really good friends, but she was just so nasty to me. And
Really?
Oh, she was horrible. And she was not a nice person at all. And so I think that kind of changed my perspective on her quite a bit. But I stopped being enamored with her based off of the way that she treated me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how you hear rumblings about Ronda having an attitude, even in the entertainment world, outside of fighting. Was she just always like that? Or like, what do you think her whole deal was? Like, why did she have that kind of attitude towards people and fans, and there's a lot of rumblings about Ronda. You know, you're an Olympian, you're world famous. You know, now she was working movies, WWE, UFC champion. She's got all these accolades. She's on top of the world. You know, why does she? I just feel like when you're in that position, you just be more cool to people, right? Like, what do you have to be?
Right.
You know, mean or rude to people for, you know?
I can't speak for why she is that way, but when I fought Shayna Baszler, they had interviewed her and said, well, what do you think is going to happen in this fight with Shayna? And she goes, this other girl doesn't deserve to breathe the same air as Shayna, and she knows it. So what she's saying is that I don't deserve to breathe the same air as Shayna Baszler. So I think that that's kind of her mindset, where she has this hierarchy in her head that she's better than other people and they don't deserve to breathe the same air as her. Whereas I've never thought that. I deserve to breathe the same air as a janitor, as a garbage man, as a bum on the street. We all deserve to breathe the same air, you know?
Right.
And so I have a completely different mentality in terms of, you know, wanting everybody to be cool and, you know, we're all one. And then where she is like, you know, if she had the opportunity, she'd be flying to Mars if the world was on fire and being like, see ya, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I can't say that if I had millions and millions of dollars, I wouldn't maybe be in the same mindset, but I definitely think that it's the way that she grew up, you know, is very much like, nose in the air, I'm better than you. And I think that that's kind of also what has given her star power, you know, where it's like these little peons, you know, like, are these blue M&Ms? I said I want red, you know? So I think that's kind of her mindset.
I was very much like you. I was a big fan of Ronda as well, especially when she burst onto the scene. And she really made, you know, a reputation for herself. And, you know, she just seemed really cool. It wasn't until you hear the rumblings of how she really was to where you started to get a different vantage point of her, right? With that being said, you know, she was a pioneer in MMA, in women's MMA in general. You know, obviously, you know, she brought judo, you know, to the spotlight with MMA. She proved that judo could be dominant in the world of mixed martial arts. But do you feel like she didn't evolve as a fighter over the years and just kind of relied on her grappling? Because obviously that got exposed when she fought Holly. Like, do you feel like she could have evolved more, maybe did a little bit more Muay Thai or kickboxing?
Yeah, I would say that it kind of just shows again towards her attitude of, you know, this arrogance that she has in terms of getting knocked out and then getting knocked out a second time and never coming back. You know, she never came back. She never proved that you can fall off the horse and get back on the horse and ride again. And I think that just kind of plays right into her, you know, bad attitude of just being this arrogant, you know, person who just feels, and I'm sure she does feel that she's just better than everyone. She's just too good to have to prove anything or to come back because that's how amazing she is.
Yeah.
Do you think that plays a magnificent part in her downfall then as well? Because, for example, you know, and I'm big on everyone just positive mindset. You never know what anyone's going through.
Yep.
From high to low. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's all over the place. For example, you know, you lost a fight.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't lose that fight. I lost by the judge's scorecards.
Yeah.
But I wasn't done.
Yeah.
And I want to keep going.
Right.
You know, then some other people, not even just her, they're always like, oh, I had this going on. And then, you know, they were before the fight, best shape ever.
Yeah.
They lose. It is what it is. We all lose sometimes. We take hits. We got to keep up and keep going. You just keep going.
Yeah.
You know, do you think that played another part in her downfall as well? And we're not trying to be stay on her, but just the mindset is completely different.
Yeah. You know, again, like you said, you don't know what somebody is going through. I've gone through so many things that I try my best to not use as an excuse in terms of why I lost or why this happened or, you know, why is the sky blue? At the end of the day, nobody cares about your excuses. Everybody has a, you know, what do they call it? This world's smallest violin playing the saddest song just for you. You know, it's like nobody cares. They say you're only as good as your last fight, you know, so get back on the horse and ride again. Show people what it means to have grit. Show people what it means to have determination or resilience or the ability to bounce back from something. And just to see her never come back again, in my mind, I'm just like, you're a quitter. You know what I mean? Which also makes me think, that your strong bravado is actually weak mentality. And so I think, for whatever reason, only she knows, what the real reason is. And like I said, you made your millions. You wouldn't want to fight anyways if I had that kind of money.
Right.
But with that being said, it's just kind of disappointing, I think, from a martial artist perspective of not being able to go back into the fire and just to, hang it up off of 2 losses. Like if that would have happened with me, with, the losing in my hometown and then getting that, hometown decision in Salt Lake after cutting all that weight, I probably wouldn't be here, but that never die, that never quitting mentality has always been innate in me. And so it's not something that, you have to look very hard to find in me. It's just who I am. Whereas other people, it's like they're looking for a way out, and she was looking for it and she found it, and that's that.